Hello guys, welcome to you once again, and today we are going to learn, not only learn, we are going to learn as well implementation of Java 8 features. So basically, what are the very important features that implemented or that provided in the Java 8? We will learn the simple definition, we will learn deeply and also implement the features. So let's go through. Look, here I have mentioned some note, some point I have mentioned. We first we will just go through these point, and then what we do, we will implement all the points I have mentioned here. Okay, so let's begin. So what are in Java 8? The first very important thing, default methods in interface. So till now, or we can say till Java 7, we have only public method in interface, and this should not be implemented. So only abstract method should be there in interface till Java 7. But now in Java 8 we have a default method interface. What are the criteria? We can have default method with implementation interface. So we can have default method. We need to provide the body. We can implement the method whatever we want to implement. The next thing, like this could be the cross question, if we have same signature default method in two interface, like we have created two interface and the same method I have implemented in both interface, and I have implements both interface in my class, like I have created a class and both interface implemented in that class. So what happened? This will cause an compile time error in implement class. Fine. So the solution for that, you need to implement that method as well in class to avoid the error, or you need to override that method. Fine. Now what happened, what the major reason to introduce default method in interface is the enhance of collection API in Java 8 to support Lambda expression. So this Lambda expression is a very important feature or very big feature came in Java 8. Now we can say what we will learn, or we will also learn what Java 8 is. Before that, we have also a static implemented method in interface. So like we can in the same way, like same like default method, we can have a static method, but we can override a static method in my class. So we will never get the compile time exception or ambiguity while implements more than one interface which contain the same method. Fine. Now came to the third point, Java 8 functional interface. So it would be great, I think. Let's implement these two things first, then we will jump to Java 8 functional interface, right? So that will be it. So let me take an example for this. Okay, fine. Here I have created simple package called Java 8. Let me create an interface. Say interface. Let me create my interface. Fine. This is my interface. So here what I'm going to do, I'm creating a default method, default void method. Here what I'm going to do, let me put some output here. Say this is default method from my interface. Fine. Let me create another method. This could be public default, this could be public void, and say method 2. Let's create its abstract method only. Fine. Let me create another interface in same way. Say my interface 2. In the same way, what I'm going to do, I'm creating the same method in second interface. So this is from second interface. Okay. So I have two interface, my interface and my interface 2. This will be good if I will rename this by my interface 1. Fine. So we can say we have two interface, my interface 1, my interface 2, and the same method in both of the interface, one abstract method as well one default method. Let's see what I'm going to do now. Here let's create a class, say test class, and let me implement both interface here, interface 1 and interface 2. Fine. Now let's see what is the problem here. Multiple marker at this line, so we need to implement this method, add unimplemented method. Fine. Now I have overridden the method 2, or we can say the abstract method of both interface. So I have override this method, but still we are getting the problem, right? Because as I have mentioned, if we have the same default method in two interface, then we must override that method in implement class. So let's override this method. Let me copy the method here, let me put here. Now this could not I have override, right? So let me just remove default from here. Why this is creating the issue? Void method cannot reduce the visibility of an interface method from interface. Okay, so this is the visibility issue because I have made this is default, right? This is the default method. So what I can take here, let me take public. Fine. Now I have override. I can also use override annotation here to identify like this is my overridden method. Fine. Now this exception has gone. Let me check once again. If I compile, if I comment this method, so I will get the duplicate, right? So if I have two default method, then I need to override these method. So this was the first point, right? Now second thing, we can also have the static method in an interface. Let's see. And one another thing, like this is Java 8. I have installed Java 8. The same thing, if you will learn, you will run with Java 7, definitely you will get exception because this feature is not compatible with Java 7. Let me check once the Java version here. So say Java version. Okay, look, I have Java 1.8, or you can also see here I have a library 1.8. Fine. So I have library Java 1.8. Now what we are going to do, let me create the static method here. Say method 3. This is my static method. Okay. So in same way, what I'm going to do, I'm just putting same method in another interface. Let's check what happened here. I'm not getting any error, right? Why? Because we cannot override a static method. But if like we are getting exception with default method, I have not overridden, but in case of this static method, I'm not getting any exception. So the purpose behind that, if I call that method, say let me create a main method. So if I'll call this static method from reference my interface 2, then this will be like method my interface 2 method will call. If I'll call this method by the help of reference my interface 1, then this will call method of my interface 1. So fine, I think till here we have clear. Now let's go to another point, the important feature of Java 8. This is Lambda expression. Actually what it is, say we have many times we have some interface which has only one abstract method. We can say it is a runnable interface, and there are many more interface which has only one abstract method. So what is the purpose behind that? Like we need to write a code, we need to implement that interface, then we have to override that method inside our implemented class. So here, what is the functional interface we can call? And functional, an interface which is only one abstract method is called functional interface, and this is the annotation called @functional interface. Annotation is added so that we can mark an interface is functional interface. So keep in mind, like there must be always one abstract interface. Now come to Lambda expression. What it is actually? Let me create an interface. Let me create because that will good to understand good. Let me create another interface. Say interface, I can say drawable. This is, I have created an interface drawable, fine, and I have only one method. I will write, I can say void draw. I have only one method in this interface. Let me mark this interface called functional interface. Okay, now in my test class, I'm using the same test class to do this. Let me, I have main method here. Okay, so here what I can do to achieve Lambda expression, I don't need to implement that method here, that interface, drawable interface here. What I can do here, I can create a reference of drawable interface. I can say D, or I can say draw only, and it will be like this. Let me here drawable D2, and this could be the syntax. Let me copy it from here, drawable from this. Yeah, so I have not created fits, like this is some parameter I was passing, I have putting here. So drawing is called, fine. So look, if I write the same code in Java 7, so what I need to do, I just implement that drawable interface, override this method, these things. So what is the main purpose? I need to focus only my what I want to implement, or what are my things. I don't care about what are the I need to implement, and then many more things override the method. So here what I need, I can write here. So within one line I can finish my implementation as well. Now I can call this method from the reference. Look, so if I call this one, I'll get the message or whatever I have written inside here, or I can see inside here this curly braces. Okay, so this is also very important feature. We see it is Lambda expression. One very good thing with the Lambda expression, we can easily iterate the list or collection with the help of Lambda expression. Let me show you. So let's create a list. Say new of okay, here let me import. Fine. So say this is type of string. Here list. Now what I'm going to do, I'm creating an object of array list. Fine. What I'm going to do, I'm just adding some objects here. Say Krishna. In the same way, I'm also adding another object, say Bhargava, or anything else, say Pune. Now what I'm going to do, just if I want to iterate this list, right? So I need to create a reference of iterator, then call the iterate method, and then I have to I need to use while loop and it dot like iterator dot has next, then I can get my value. So in with the help of Java Lambda expression, we can do in simple way. Let me do this. I can here. So fine. Now inside my for each loop, let me put the code. Here is some syntax like this. So n is my what is object I am storing in my list or in my collection. Here I this here indicate like I want to iterate my object here. So whatever I want to write, I can write inside the break. Fine. So if I want to print, I can say n. So here if let me run this. So trying is called, this is actually older one. This is, let me clear this and let me run once again. Yeah, Krishna Bhargav Pune. So I can do in this way. If you want only one CISO, so you don't need to use this bracket. This is for your convenience, right? And you also don't need to put semicolon here. So within single line you can iterate your list of data. And let me do it a little bit. Okay, fine. So like within one line I can do the same thing. So when in the case of Java 7 I have to return the code of more than 5 or 6 lines, so here the same thing I'm doing within one line, and this is the magic of Lambda expression, we can say. So fine. Now I think we have finished all these things. There are some more features in Java 8, but these were some important ones, so I have mentioned, and you can also check for other feature, but this you must keep in mind because these are very important and very useful for the coding or programming purpose. Okay, thanks a lot for watching and happy learning.